Hey, welcome to Tabletop Skirmish Games and part 3 of our How to Play Population Z series. I'm Lee, and in this video I'll be taking you through all the rules for noise and difficulty. We've already covered how to build a survivor group and the key concepts, so now let's dive in to noise, which is a huge part of the game, and we're also going to have a look at the difficulty levels and how you can change them to customise your game. Whenever we set up for a new skirmish, we'll be using a 3 by 3 foot playing area. Then we're going to need to divide that up into 6 zones. Each of those rectangles will have a number 1 to 6, and then they'll have a corresponding entry zone assigned to them. The skirmish plan example on page 31 of the core book will tell you exactly where to place these entry zones, and it gives you a guide for how to divide up the battlefield too. At the end of each zombie turn, for any noise tokens that are placed on the entry zones, we'll place a zombie on each one. Then those zombies will come into play in the next zombie turn. They'll move onto the battlefield and start to attack our survivors. You can find the entry zone templates and noise tokens to copy and print off in the back of the core book in the reference section. You can also find everything in the optional extra, the Huntsville Campaign Assets book, where you can actually cut out the noise tokens and the entry zones along with all the other assets. Another option is to head over to our website where you can download the free PDF and then you can print it off at home in colour or in black and white. Now, the entry zone templates are not required to play the game, and you can certainly use any suitable tokens you have to represent them if you prefer. If you've been following my channel for a while, you'll know that Warcry and Kill Team have got loads of different tokens, and we can use all of those. Let's have a look at the noisy activities, and these include using a weapon with a noise trait, and that'll be written on the weapon card or in the table, setting off a vehicle alarm, using noisy distractions, and breaking through barricaded doors and windows. If a survivor carries out a noisy activity during their activation, noise tokens are immediately placed on the entry zone as shown in the skirmish map example. Again, that's on page 31 of the core book. There are 3 noise traits. The first one is Bang, where you'll place 1 noise token in the entry zone that the noise took place in. Then you've got Boom, this is 1 D3 noise tokens in the zone the noise took place in, and Blast, 1 token in every entry zone. And a blast will typically be a car alarm or large explosion. When you activate a survivor, you're only going to count 1 Bang, Boom or Blast for each survivor's activation, regardless of how many noisy activities they carry out during their activation. To place the noise tokens, first you'll place the first noise token in the centre of the entry zone. Then place any further noise tokens on either side of it, spreading out along the board edge as shown in this example. Once a noise token is placed on an entry zone, it remains there for the rest of the skirmish, and a maximum of 5 noise tokens can be placed on each entry zone. At the end of the zombie turn, you'll place 1 zombie on each noise token. No matter how careful the survivors are, they will always make a noise with their activities. To represent this, noise tokens will be placed on every entry zone at the start of every 3rd, 4th or 5th round, depending on the number of starting survivors and the difficulty level you choose. Each skirmish plan will detail when to place noise tokens and how many to use. Noise checks are used in some skirmishes where survivors have to be a little more stealthy. To carry out a noise check, roll 1d6 and apply any noise modifiers. If you equal or beat the survivor's noise characteristic, they've passed and carry on as normal. If they fail, you must place a noise token in the entry zone that corresponds to the zone they failed the noise check. That's covered the rules for noise, so now let's have a look at how you can manipulate the difficulty levels. The more survivors you take into a skirmish, the more zombies you will encounter. The table that you can find on page 33 of the core book tells you the starting number of shufflers. These are the most basic of zombies. It tells you when to place the noise token on each entry zone, and it tells you how many total shufflers to keep in the box. We're going to cover that in a moment. These three elements are all weighed up against the number of starting survivors, which will either be 2, 3 or 4. Let's have a look at the zombies in the box. You'll keep a box of shufflers ready to play, and each time a shuffler's hearts are reduced to 0, return the shuffler to the box. Once returned to the box, those shufflers will come back onto the game in waves, so you're going to get lots of zombies in Population Z. If you find any time you have more noise tokens in play than shufflers left in the box, evenly distribute the shufflers among the entry zones, then roll 1d6 for each remaining shuffler in the box. Each dice result equals the entry zone to place a shuffler. Each skirmish plan will tell you when any special zombies will be participating. When you place the zombies on noise tokens, some skirmish plans tell you to roll a dice, and the result tells you which special zombie to bring on and any conditions to follow. Typically, the more powerful the zombie, the fewer of them will be in play at any one time. Now let's talk about adjusting the difficulty. You can make your game more challenging by increasing the number of noise tokens beyond 5 per entry zone. You can also increase the number of starting shufflers. You can increase the total number of shufflers in the box. And you can increase the total number of special zombies. You can adjust the difficulty even further by choosing to ban pre-measuring during the skirmish. It makes quite a difference to the gameplay, and this is a really fun option to try out. You might want to make things super easy, and you can do this by not putting any killed shufflers back into the box. Once a shuffler's hearts are reduced to 0, they're out of the game. And the game will feel very different, but if you're creating your own skirmish plans or playing with younger players, then this can certainly work and is a fun alternative way to play. That's now covered all the rules for noise and how to set up for a skirmish, and we've also looked at the difficulty levels to make the game a little bit harder and also to make it easier. Next we'll be going through movement and actions before moving on to other areas of the game. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you haven't seen it already, go and check out parts 1 and 2. And it would be awesome if you come and join me for part 4, where we'll be looking at movement actions, before moving on to parts 5 through 10, where we'll be covering the other actions, searching, which is a big part of the game. We'll be looking at ranged attacks and cover line of sight, melee attacks and combat assists, zombies and NPCs, how to start a campaign, and then we'll round things off with a skirmish overview, and then after that I'll do a demo game. If you'd like to find out more about Population Z, check out the book review that I've put at the end of this video, and I've also put a link there for the asset book, which is an optional extra to enhance your campaign. All the links are in the description down below if you'd like to find out more. Thank you so much to everyone who's bought a copy of the book so far. It's been fantastic and really cool to develop and grow the game with you. Thanks for watching this video. If you found it helpful or liked it, it'd be great if you hit the like button, subscribe for more videos like this one, and I look forward to seeing you here next time on Tabletop Skirmish Games. Thank you so much to my Patreon supporters for helping me to keep going with these regular videos. I couldn't do this without you, and I appreciate your support so much. If you'd like to join the Patreon community, support the channel, get some great perks at the same time, there's a link down below in the description. It'll be awesome to see you there.